Hey Internet, it's me. And him. For those that don't know, him is Tim Davis, director, editor, writer, makeup, costumes, props, owner of Nox Luna Studios. As you may have noticed, Tyler's not here, so I was going to diversify this month and bring some of my filmmaking friends in to talk about movies. And today we watched M3gan. Now, I know you haven't seen a lot of movies, ironic considering, but you've seen this one now.
Yeah.
I guess I'll let you go. Thoughts?
I actually liked it. It was on my list of movies that I want to watch anyway, and I was going into it. I was afraid that it was going to be like a spiritual successor to Chucky, where like it was kind of where it was. I mean, the campy 80s movies, 90s movies, like that generation, like it kind of called for it. I was afraid that they were going to try and like find the bottled lightning that they did with Child's Play. Mm-hmm. So with going into it, I was expecting it to be kind of campy, kind of you know, like Child's Play, and where I didn't know if it was going to be a supernatural take on it, but I like the fact that it was kind of more of like a AI taking over kind of thing,
like a more modern take.
Yeah, because like the thing about that is like we're kind of like living in that era right now where like AI is still in its infancy and like people are doing advanced things with it, but there's not a good understanding of how it works yet. Mm-hmm. Like, even the people that work on it and design it don't really know how it works. Yeah. Like, that's the weird thing about it.
I work with it in my day job, and I understand what I'm telling it to do, but not, like, the behind the scenes. Like, if you were to ask me to create an AI model or even explain how it works, I couldn't.
Right. Exactly.
I just know how I utilize it in my job.
That's kind of a metaphor for how things are anyway, because everybody has cell phones and they have like access to literally everything in the world, all of the knowledge in the world. People are just so dumb. Like nobody really understands how anything actually works. They just accept it at face value, like what they have. So I think it's kind of it's a good metaphor for how things can spiral out of control really quickly with like a technology that people take advantage of and don't understand how it works, and then also the idea, like, and I love the way that they use it, but it feels almost like it's overused in some movies, like it's a trope, but it's really true. It's like companies will always prioritize profits over functionality of what they're doing. Like, if you're a gamer, people are always complaining about how, they'll pay $75 to pre-order a game, and then when it comes out, it's completely bugged. They can't play it. It's horrible, and then they have to wait 3 years for it to finally become playable instead of like putting it out when it's ready. Yeah, and it feels kind of like that is using a lot of that as like the setup for it, because the company,
they were pushing to do the presentation whether it was ready or not.
Right, and I mean the girl who was developing it, she was she was a little at fault too, kind of cramming it in his face as this is the next big thing, because you can't expect a CEO to go, oh, I can see the potential in 5 years. They're going to be like, our shareholders will like this quarter, make it happen. Like, I mean, the whole setup in the beginning of it was that they needed to make the same toy, but shittier and cheaper. So, and that was the ultimatum. And then she decided to make M3gan, and like it was not ready, obviously.
Yeah. Now I will, because you mentioned Child's Play, and that is, I love that movie. Mm-hmm. That got me down that whole genre of just, living toys, haunted toys, like whatever. Like the toys coming to life and being evil is probably my favorite subgenre of horror.
Right.
And now one of the things I think that's best about Child's Play is the voice actor, Brad Dourif. Like his performance is so incredible, and then they do so good with the puppetry to match it that it's just, the movie's amazing regardless of how camp or old it is. Like that role is just perfect.
Yeah.
And like, what did you think here with the voice acting?
I thought it was good, but I know that they couldn't let it have too much personality because it's supposed to be an AI.
Yeah.
Which people kind of associate an AI of like having a lack of personality, and it's more just like, programmed responses or whatever, and it kind of takes the personality out of it. They let it bleed through a little bit, especially towards the end when she gave up the guise of like I'm being helpful and now I'm being sarcastic, and So I liked when it went that way.
I loved every time when it switched.
Yeah.
Like the first time Gemma tells Megan to turn off, she's like, "Well, wait a minute. We were having a discussion."
Yeah. There were a few moments where it's like I think it kind of made it better too because you're used to like that robotic response, and then when she started being more natural and off the cuff, it's a little bit more off-putting.
Yeah.
So I think
it gives you that good jarring of like, oh well, that's not how that's supposed to work.
Right. Yeah. No, I think it fit really well. I wish I'm sure the performance was really really good, but I don't think that they because of the subject matter of the movie, the way it was supposed to happen. It didn't have as much personality as like Chucky did.
Yeah.
So I think, and even with that, where it was like once it gives up the guise of being a toy, and he goes crazy and homicidal and stuff like that, you seem to have more fun with it and everything.
Oh yeah.
That. So I mean, this definitely, I would say it had a bit of a slow start for me, where it was. They were building
for a while.
Yeah, that whole building for a little while. I think maybe. I'm not always a huge fan of picking up in the middle of a big story that needs a lot of explanation. But this could have been the movie could have started at almost like the release rather than having the the build up of her needing to make these toys and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I think if they were we've been working on this for a long time and it's about to release, and now with the story having the niece being kind of the test for it to be I think it could have gone faster if they would have just dropped that whole beginning part where they were we make Furbies basically.
So less focus on developing the ants and more focus on just Megan.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you could probably sum up the ants storyline in the beginning because it really was I saw a few things that they were trying to do. They're trying to make the ant she's kind of very independent,
the workaholic.
The workaholic,
she's not super social.
Right, exactly. When she walked in and her little digital assistant thing says that she had a bunch of
Tinder matches,
and everything like that. And it's okay, I see what they're doing. They're setting it up that she's lonely and she doesn't have anybody to talk to, and she's kind of like a workaholic and stuff. I think you could get that across a bit quicker. I don't hate the way that they started it, but I think that made the intensity of everything, it kind of backloaded it towards the end of the film. It felt like it was kind of a unsettling crawl towards what you inevitably knew that she was going to go off the rails and she was going to go crazy. But it felt like that was almost halfway into the movie or later when she chased after that kid in the woods. It was about halfway into the movie, and it's it was creepy enough to get there and to make it unsettling, but it didn't do much for that. I think maybe if they would have moved it so it was maybe the first third of the movie was your setup, and then the unspeakable horrors happened from that point on.
Yeah.
That would have been a little bit better, but
I would say it would be something they could fix in the sequel, because now that you've established the character, you've built her, you have the foundation,
right.
You don't need to reestablish. But Blumhouse decided to be just the worst, and the sequel is a sci-fi action flick, and it's not horror. And also Megan is the hero, not the villain.
Yeah.
So she has the personality. She does all the quips. It's all of that. But she's the good guy now, and she's fighting a more evil AI. And there's no horror suspense at all. It's just straight up sci-fi action. So yeah, it's
I haven't seen it, but I can tell that.
You could probably skip that one. It's not.
Yeah.
It sounds in theory like it's what you're talking about, what you want, but it's not what you want.
No, I can tell. That's not. It should be more of the same in some way.
I mean, back to Child's Play, because that is the analog to draw. That's if you're talking about a haunted toy or an evil toy or whatever, you have to compare it to Chucky, and that's what they did in the sequel in Child's Play 2. You already go in you know Chucky is alive. You know there's an evil spirit in the doll. He's alive and will kill people and enjoys killing people.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the second movie, they don't have to pussyfoot around anymore. There's no slow build. Like, he's Chucky already.
You're right.
And so the movie can just dive right into it and
Mm-hmm.
give you more time. Instead of trying to flesh out characters or build up the doll, it's just more of the cat and mouse game where it's like, okay, we already know what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to avoid that? And so you get a lot more of the suspense, a lot more of the action. It still has that horror vibe because there's still suspense in the chase, but you don't have to set it up anymore.
Right.
And that's what I would have wanted out of M3gan 2, is that now you've built the character, we like the character, it's fun to watch, some cool kills, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we have her, run with it. Like, now you could do a full-on suspenseful chase,
Mm-hmm.
whether she wants to protect the kid from Gemma or whether she wants revenge on Gemma and the kid, like, whichever route you want to go,
Mm-hmm.
they could just go for it now.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the sequel, but like they kind of set up that there could have been something with that guy copying the files.
Mm-hmm.
He was hiding that he copied the files. Where did those files go? Did he
Yeah.
mail them off to somebody? Was he planning on starting a competitor? Was the competitor going to be, that could be the more evil version?
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end they set it up where the home assistant thing, the Alexa,
Yeah.
is spying on them, which you'd think that, okay, then, M3gan hacked it to, so...
Yeah.
So they set it up for a sequel anyway. So I don't know if they just kind of threw out those plot points and never looked at them again, or if that was something...
Well, I won't spoil it. I'll let you find the sequel on your own. But
Okay.
yeah, this movie did, and I mean, it's a horror movie, so it has to, but it did leave the door open at the end.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's the rule you have. We did that in Willowvale, and we're never going to have the resources to make a sequel.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so I will take a step back from the story for a second then, and
Mhm.
talk to what I know you really know. What did you think of, like, the production value here? Like, two things specifically I know we mentioned while watching is,
Mhm.
A, the sound design,
Mhm.
and how they would keep, they would use the music to really accentuate, like, M3gan's mood and all of that.
Yeah.
But then also the visuals, and this is a trick I learned from you, because you did this, speaking of Willowvale, in Willowvale, when Tyler swung the crowbar,
Mhm.
where you do the frame skipping to make the action look more unnatural.
Mhm.
And they did that at the end once M3gan fully turned and had that little glitch and she's coming down the hall.
Yep.
And I thought that looked amazing. Like, that was the perfect time to use that effect.
It's so I gotta give him props for making a doll creepy. Like, dolls are creepy. That's just, a given.
Yeah.
But the idea that it could be funny or overly funny or make it more campy, but it did feel threatening.
Yeah.
Like, it absolutely felt threatening. Like, they did a really good job of keeping the horror in such a ridiculous form,
Yeah.
where you weren't just like, oh, this is... I mean, you can watch it for the entertainment value of people getting their heads ripped off and whatnot. You can enjoy watching that type of stuff. But, it actually felt it felt threatening. Like, they made it creepy, but in a very unsettling way.
That's what I like.
Rather than, Chucky, when he gets burned and he's got his face and everything is all messed up and everything, that's the type of vibe. It's it's a doll, it's this tall, you could just punt that thing across the room. But, the threat is
it's
more
still there.
Yeah, it feels like it's a lot more than what it really is. But they did a good job at that. My one gripe would be the tech. Always the tech.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is with movies, sci-fi movies in the future. You can kind of suspend your disbelief a little bit because it's so far in the future or whatever, and it's oh, but this is kind of like current tech. And
Pretty much. This is maybe 5 years in the future.
Yeah, we were sitting there, and they're the point where M3gan took over the lab remotely, and they're sitting there, and she's hacking into our stuff. And he's like, well, I gotta unplug her. And the server rack is there, M3gan is over there, and he walks over to unplug her from that end, and we're just unplug her from the server rack. The cords are going over there.
Yeah.
Those are the type of things that's they try and spin the technology to be more than what it's capable of. And it's oh yeah, it's AI and everything like that, but everybody knows what AI looks like now.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the super near future. It's not the campy Hackers, the movie
Yeah.
version of tech where it's like the things are flying around the screen and the words are
Yeah,
like
it's still just
zapping in and out.
keyboards and standard interfaces.
Yeah, exactly. It's more The Matrix. The Matrix was more realistic with that than like these type of movies. So
Yeah.
like, and being kind of, like me being in tech for years, you being in tech for years, like you can kind of call out the bullshit from a mile away.
That's
like it wasn't quite like the NCIS scene where like there's two people typing on the same keyboard to keep the other hackers out, or like getting shocked through your keyboard, like that type of stuff.
There's
like,
some things though that it's. I am a horror fan. I watch every horror movie I can find, and that's one thing I've had to learn to do is basically turn off the work part of my brain because the IT stuff, they never get it right. Honestly, I want very much to work in a sci-fi movie just because I have the IT background and can call this stupidity out. Like even there's the point where Gemma, the pseudo mother there, was pulling up security videos, and she clicks on one, and then it's watching the screen, it's looking at the video playing, and then every time it cuts back to her, she types a bunch. And so then it cuts back to the screen, and the video she's watching is still just playing. So what was she doing on the keyboard?
Yeah.
Like, the only thing, once a video is playing, the only thing you would hit is either like a keyboard shortcut to make it full screen, which I think is like Alt-Enter or something.
Yeah.
Or you would hit space to pause it.
Yeah.
But you're not like typing multiple commands. You wouldn't hear a half dozen keystrokes.
Yeah.
And it kept doing it. There was another, it cuts back to her, she does it again, and it goes back, and the thing closes. But like, again,
what was she typing?
The minimize button, or Alt F4. It's not multiple keystrokes. I don't know what she's doing. And so it's little stupid stuff like that, like you said, it's hard to do the suspension of disbelief, because you do this day in and day out. You see this, you know how this tech works, because it's just current tech.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is she doing? Like, what, has no one writing this
ever
used a computer
before?
Like, do they not have that person on set to go, hey, this doesn't make sense?
Right.
And I feel like more movies need that. You just need that person to keep the basics in check.
Yeah, and it's not like it takes away from the movie to get it right either.
Yeah.
Like with Star Trek or something big sci-fi like that, like the computers do things and it's all mysterious because it's
but that's
1,000 years in the future.
Yeah, that's so far in the future that doesn't have to be realistic. It's not supposed to mimic future tech.
The technobabble.
It's essentially magic at that point.
Yeah, the technobabble makes sense to them in that future that we don't know anything about. But like all this is very current. Same thing with like medical stuff. Like my wife and I will watch stuff all the time, and she's just like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So like they shocking somebody to bring them back to life. It's like, okay, like they're flatline on the anyway. You could get into it. It's just the medical the way they treat medical is the same way they treat tech.
I mean,
it's all just.
I feel like it's most specialized stuff. It's a problem. It's not just with this movie. I know we're off topic, but like in any movie, it's you get caught up in the story you want to tell, and all the details kind of fall to the wayside. So like, again, it doesn't even apply to this movie, but we're on the topic now. Like tattoos. Whenever you see tattoos in movies, it's always wrong because it always comes in. I can set the scene. It's the tail end of getting a tattoo. The guy is finishing up the last line, and then he takes the cloth, presumably with alcohol. He gives it a quick wipe. He's like, all right, you're good to go. And then that's it. The character walks out. There's no residual bleed of color. There's no actual blood. They don't cover it or treat it in any way. It's not even sore to just pull the shirt back down and go. Like, they're just like, all right, I'm great. Their arm's not sore. They have full range of motion. Everything's fine. I'm like, in no world is that how a tattoo would work.
Right.
I have a dozen of them on me right now. That's not what it's like to get a tattoo.
Exactly.
And even if you could somehow like, all right, I'm just not going to let the pain bother me. I'm going to fight through the muscle cramps. I'm going to ignore the fact that I'm bleeding color and blood right now. Like, you still, every time we see you in future scenes in that movie, that thing's going to be infected, half the color will be missing, like it's going to be all fucked up because you didn't do that proper aftercare. Like, that's not how that works.
I guess it all boils down to the stuff that like the audience is going to give any shits about, and we're the nerds.
That's the thing. I'm going into the finite detail for no reason because in a movie, none of that matters.
Yeah, I guess it's at least when I'm trying to create a film or something, like I try and do stuff that serves the story. But also, like, if I'm going to show that stuff, I try and get it right at least.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess, a pet peeve of mine to just throw something super technical or super specialized into it, and then it's just being completely wrong.
Yeah. I think that's the thing is, if you don't want to go into the detail of it, like if you don't want to get all the specifics right, that's fine. Like no one's a master of every topic. But then don't focus on it.
Right.
Like for example, in M3gan here, if
was a
you're
big
not
part
going
of
to
the
show
story.
her using the keyboard correctly, don't keep cutting to her using the keyboard.
Yeah.
Like you could have stayed on the screen the whole time. You didn't need to cut back to get her reaction multiple times.
Yeah.
Like in reality, they're just showing a video playing, glitching, and then failing.
Yeah.
I don't
guess
need multiple reactions for that sequence.
Yeah, I guess there's a line between like the peripheral stuff that doesn't really matter and doesn't really serve the story and you're not really supposed to pay attention to it, to like having it be integral to the story and it's like a very important part of it. Like in this, the tech is a big part of the story.
Yeah, she's
like
the lead programmer on the project that built M3gan.
Right.
So it's very
I feel
important.
like they could have at least hired an IT consultant to be like, that looks dumb. There's not going to be like words flying around the screen when she's typing like in.
Yeah, it's not Minority Report.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I mean, there's some things that they probably could have done a better job or a less of a job to just ignore that but it is a big part of the story. So
yeah.
It's like it'd be like Grey's Anatomy, kind of just like yada-yadaing through all of the medical stuff. It's like it takes place in a hospital. They're medical students. Like, you should probably get the facts straight.
I've got the perfect example. It's like She-Hulk yada-yadaing through all the lawyer stuff.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't seen the show, they do.
Yeah.
They cut all of the courtroom stuff out. They did not have a legal consultant. They didn't go into that at all. And her whole thing in the comics is she is a lawyer.
That's funny.
So, it was weird. But yeah, so, okay. Talked about the story, talked about the tech aspects, and then side conversations as well. I guess last big thing to note then, and again, you've been on a bunch of sets, so you have first-hand experience. Acting. How was it? Like, especially because there's a child actor in here, and child actors are always hit or miss.
So I think she's a pretty good child actor. Like, I've seen her in quite a few things.
And I don't mean M3gan, I mean the little girl.
Yeah. I think she's really good. Like, the fact that you can tell that she's actually pretty good of a child actor, when they did that little vignette where she's like, where the aunt's watching her on the big screen, and she's talking about, I lost my parents, and I felt like it was very, like, it didn't feel like she was remembering and rehearsing. It felt like a natural conversation.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just her ability to cry and, like, show distress and happiness and everything like that. She's got a lot of range.
She's
got a lot of range.
Her ability to get those tears, I can't reliably do that all the time. I'm an adult. I've experienced those emotions.
I know, right? No, I think she's a really good actor. I think I've seen at least 3 things that she's been in. I think the first or second thing I saw her in was the Poltergeist remake.
Yeah.
And I think she did a great job in that too, regardless of whether or not you like the movie. But she was I don't know how long ago that was. It doesn't seem like she's much older. It doesn't seem like she's much older in this film than she was in that.
Yeah.
Which is odd because
this was just a couple years ago, I think. I think this was either 22 or 23.
Yeah, I don't remember when the Poltergeist remake came out. But anyway, she's a good child actor. I'm sure she'll be like oh my god, what's her name? The one who plays the young girl in the new Ghostbusters films. McKenna Grace. Yeah. McKenna Grace, where she started out really young, and a good actor, and then as she's gotten older, now she's getting bigger stuff. I have no doubt that she'll be doing stuff like that.
Honestly, I think most of the adults did a good job. I have to say, I love Ronnie Chen. I don't know how you say his last name, and I don't want to butcher it. But the guy that played the boss, loved his energy. He really came across as kind of just that dickish boss. It's like, I just care about the shareholders and the money. Like, he is middle management. That's exactly how they operate. They're not important enough to actually matter, so they overcompensate and act like they're the most important person in the world.
Yep.
And, like, the way he even said to her, like, write me up these talking points so I know what I'm talking about in the meeting.
Yeah.
And just his completely out of touch comments in that one vignette.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, then the shock in his face when the actual boss is like, "Oh, you better get her in front of legal because she's gonna wanna,
want to raise,
Yeah.
and pay bump,
and it's just all the interactions with him I thought were super fluid and just very believable in the role.
Mhm.
Conversely, Jenna, I don't even know.
Gemma.
I don't know if I always believed her. She very much had
Yeah.
not resting bitch face, but like she's just not a very expressive face. Like she still did the emotions in like the vocals of her acting, but her non-verbal acting, I felt like could have been more. Like just some of her looks or expressions or lack thereof, I feel like could have been more expressive.
I feel like that the expression would be that she's more like supporting cast than main cast type. I feel if they were going for like average girl next door type of like she just exists and this gets thrown on her lap, it kind of accomplishes that. But also like I think I don't know who they would cast differently. Like I don't say that the casting is bad, but
and
but like
I don't have
it would be interesting.
To replace her.
Yeah, it would be interesting just to see who else would be good in that role.
Yeah,
and I think maybe it just feels average.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the thing for me too. It's not bad. It's just like you said, the little girl was doing a great job, and the voice actor for Megan obviously was great, and just. I felt like all the other acting was significantly better, so it made her stick out as just not as good.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's because like some of the films we have done and some of the people we've worked with, like I notice a lot. I'm not going to name drop anyone because they're not part of this, so I'm not going to just talk about people out of turn. But there's a younger actor we've worked with on a couple things that just. Very, very good nonverbal acting. Like her expressions and reactions and the way she just, how her words are going to come out before she says them because of how she carries herself and how her face is and just the expressions she makes. And like, that's the kind of thing now I notice, especially when it's not there, because I've seen firsthand someone that got it right.
Yeah.
And so it's just... Again, like you said, like I don't know who else I would cast, or like if I could say a specific thing that needs to be done to make it better.
Right.
But I definitely noticed that of the main cast, she felt like one of the weaker members.
Yeah.
Not bad, just by comparison.
No, I totally get what you mean. She was so neutral at points where it was really hard for you to get super invested in her.
Yeah.
Like the young girl was way more. Like
absolutely
sucked you in way more with her acting, but like it didn't feel it didn't.
I mean, even the therapist had more expression, and she
was... So the therapist, I wanted to talk about that too.
Oh yeah,
I was not a fan of the therapist.
I have to say, the first time I watched this movie, it was after it came out. I was at home and I was trying to watch it, and I got to the first time the therapist comes in. And I actually got annoyed with the movie and turned it off. I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
Why are you making her out to be the villain because she has collectibles and wasn't prepared to deal with a kid within 24 hours of finding out her sister died?
Yeah,
like, this therapist jumped up her ass so fast, and it's so unreasonable.
Yeah.
Why are we just beating up this IT lady for no reason? Like, oh my god, she has collectibles. Like, people do that.
Yeah, the therapist was awful. The biggest caricature of that title of the therapist that you could think of, like I turned to you. I was like, "Who hurt the person who wrote this character?"
She was an exaggeration of that type of character.
I would have liked it if she was nice to her face, and then like. You find out later on after she left, and she's like, "It was really nice meeting you," and whatever. And she felt like it went well. And then when she left, like the therapist, you find out that the therapist like had jotted down all these horrible things about her that she didn't like, and that like she found out like later. That would be more realistic because a therapist is supposed to stay neutral. When you're talking about stuff, like they'll talk you through things, but they're not supposed to be like staring at you judgingly. Yeah, like that was like the first reaction. It's like
in the interaction.
It's like, oh, you want to play with some toys, and she's like, well, I don't have any toys, and then she's like judging. Yeah, it's like It's been 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have kids. She's staying with me.
She usually lives out of state.
Yeah.
My sister just died. Just brought her home from the hospital 9 hours ago.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't have those ready.
Not realistic to have. Yeah. So the therapist was awful.
Whereas honestly, they could have had some fun with that too. Like,
oh, yeah.
like you said, if the therapist, if she played it off like a therapist would, she's like, oh, we're still investigating, and even her comments at the end, like, well, we'll have to do a few more of these meetings. Like, that's all you need to do. You didn't need the judgment. Just do that. Just leave it open.
Right.
And then have like M3gan discover later, oh, these negative things came out, and we're at risk of having CPS take this girl away that I need to protect.
Yeah, that would have been a good
they
side
could have
plot.
played that angle and even worked another killing, because now you have a reason for M3gan to go after the therapist lady.
Yeah. Yeah, but she was the worst character out of the whole thing by far.
Very aggressive for no reason.
Second worst character, I would say, would be that the weasel guy that was.
Oh yeah.
He what did he exist for? Like, I mean, he stole the files, he copied those, and
but
he
they
was
never
just,
paid off either. So
yeah, they never paid off.
That.
He gets murdered in the elevator, and it's like he was just. He didn't need to exist. They gave him nothing to do.
Even his kill felt like an afterthought. Like, the good kill was the boss.
Yeah.
And he was just there.
And he was like he overacted caricature too.
Yes. That was very much.
He was just like, like the
overly nerdy,
wormy character,
sweaty,
the little rat character. Best supporting character I thought was the neighbor. She was great. Yeah. She was the latent sarcasm when she would deliver lines just over the fence when she was talking to her. I was like, that's a real person.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen
that's someone's actual neighbor that sounds like, no, I'm going to write this, and I already know what I'm going to call her.
Exactly.
Like,
no, she was hands down just the expressiveness on her face. You could tell exactly what she was thinking. The snide remarks and everything like that. I mean, they may have went a little overboard with the Karen stuff, but maybe not. Like, when the cop's standing there, she starts banging on the window, and she's like, I know it was you! I'm gonna get you! Making threats in front of the cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
That was maybe a step too far. I mean, those people do exist, and we've all seen the videos on YouTube.
She's the type of person that would literally go to Walmart and start flipping tables and throwing stuff off the aisle because they didn't take her coupon. Like, that's the type of person that I think. I also don't really like the fact that they murdered the dog. Like, that seemed... It seemed like a reason to set up that plot point of like they get attacked by the dog, but like I'm not a fan of violence against animals in a movie just to make it like for shock value.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and that was the thing. Like, I mean, I was fine with the scene, but I could see how they could frame it different. Yeah. Like, at the very least, it could be more defensive.
Yeah,
because M3gan didn't kill the dog during the encounter. She went out of her way to lure the dog out and kill him after the fact. Yeah.
And maybe even having it so like the dog, who normally is a nuisance, checks M3gan's bad vibes and then tries standing up for the little girl. And then like attacks M3gan and M3gan kills it. It has like I said, if you do it as a defensive
thing, it's fine. And then that also doesn't tip the audience off right away that that there's something else going on.
Yeah.
That's just her
programming. I knew the second that they showed a dog and that it was annoying the main character. I was like, that dog is dead.
Yeah,
kill it. Like
that's usually how it works.
Yeah, it just didn't seem necessary. There's times where it's like, okay, yeah, I could see it as or as like a redemption arc or like a plot point other than just like dog annoying, dog going to die to annoy the neighbor who's also annoying. Then they kill the neighbor. Yeah, and it's like you just can see that it was going to happen, but. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts. The supporting characters were really good. The neighbor was the best. The sniveling assistant guy was the worst. And then, the girl did really well. M3gan's character did really well.
I have to say, both. The voice actor and the physical actor. Because it's not CG. I mean, like the head is a face swap, but there's a physical actor doing all that.
Exactly. Yeah, I think she did.
And so all her movements and everything. Like, I know they did some frame dropping at the end to get the creepy effect, but the rest of it, she moved like a robot.
I wouldn't be able to tell you what was a stand-in because I'm sure that for some stuff they had the robot stand-in. They had like an animatronic to stand in for the.
Like, I'm sure the scene when she's running like a quadruped. probably CG because
yeah.
that would be so hard to train a person to do just to then swap it out anyway.
Unless she did it for real because she also did the dancing and the choreography and stuff.
That's
like
true.
That. So maybe she did do it for real. But yeah, they don't make it obvious when they swap it out.
Yeah.
There were a couple times where like she gets twapped in the face and you can clearly tell that they're different.
Yeah.
Or between the cuts, the face is looking slightly different. But like obviously they get to do that. But watching that, it was pretty seamless. Like you couldn't tell. Even there was one point where she comes up to the therapist and she's holding the box of tissues.
Mm-hmm.
And when the therapist takes the box of tissues, like they even made it like the box was bouncing a little bit, almost like it was on an animatronic a little bit. And I'm like, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it definitely made her feel less like a person in a costume than the animatronic that she's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I guess
they did great.
Yeah, I don't. I
good on that actor and good on the director too for just
Yeah.
really like embodying what they needed to there.
Yeah, no notes. That was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to. I figured it was going to be cheesy, campy, and they were going to try and pull off too many tropes from like the things that immediately came to mind, like Child's Play. Like I was dreading it being another
just like a
Chucky, but as a girl.
Yeah,
and like it's like you can pay homage to some of that stuff, and I think they did a few interesting nods too, like when they banged her face up and everything, and then they cut her in half. It felt very very Chucky-esque.
There were a couple times, like especially at the end when she had turned fully, where her face moved in a certain way. I'm like, God, that looks like Chucky.
Yep.
Just like the way her mouth turned up or something. I'm like, that could be Child's Play.
Yep. But I liked the way they used it as opposed to making that the entire
it never felt like a ripoff or a parody. Like she definitely felt like her own character. This was its own movie.
Yep. It also was a lot less creepy in, I guess, for the majority of that beginning, like the first half of the movie. Like I didn't expect them to be taking her to the park. Yeah. Like that was a whole. I never saw that coming. Like I figured it was either going to be in the lab or the girls at home with the girl, and like it was going to be like. But the fact that they took her out, which I mean, I guess is kind of a dumb plot point, but I liked it because of the scenery change. Yeah. And like
it makes the film world a little bigger by showing those third places.
Yeah.
It's not just here's the lab, here's the house where things happen.
Story-wise, probably doesn't make a lot of sense because she's a prototype, and they're like, we need to not tell anybody about this. We don't want anybody trying to copy this. And then she's driving it around, chauffeuring it to different places, and like, let's go to the park. And you want to sit on the toy shelf
where all the other kids and parents can see.
Yeah, exactly. And then she's telling everybody about it. And so it's like, okay, that very thin plot point that they just kind of disregarded. But I liked the fact that they went other places. And it was outside, and people interacted with it, and it wasn't a secret thing. And I am incredibly glad that they didn't pull the trope of it being like the Toy Story thing where Andy's here and they flop on the floor. Like I'm so glad that it didn't become the girl telling the mother that something's creepy about this doll, and then it just feigning non-existence when the mother's like, I don't see anything. I hate that as a plot point, and so many movies use it where it's like there's a monster under the bed, and they're like, no, sweetie, there's no monster under the bed. And it's like, as soon as they walk out of the room, the monster's under the bed, and you clearly see it. Like, I hate that as a plot point. Yeah. Because it's been used so many times.
That was something I love that, again, going back to Chucky, like, I feel like they did it right in that one. Yeah. Because they do that a little at first, but even then...
But it was almost brand new concept back then.
Well, also, Andy wasn't creeped out. Yeah. He was just like, oh, yeah, Chucky said this or whatever, because that's his friend. He talked to him. Of course he did. Yep. And the adults are like, no, he didn't talk to you. He's a doll. He's not real. He doesn't talk. And then Chucky plays along with what the adults are saying. But it's not like a Toy Story effect. It's like Charles Lee Ray, the serial killer, knows if I play along, I can get in deeper. Yep. And then once his cover's blown, like once the mother opens him in the back and realizes there's no batteries, he drops the facade immediately and turns on her. Yep. Like, he only played the angle for as long as it was useful. Yeah. So I felt like that was the right way to do it.
Well, I mean, like I said, anytime that they do that and they copy that, it's overused. Like, Child's Play is an older movie. It was kind of it was a newer concept back then. Like, it's not... it created those tropes.
Mm-hmm.
Like the movies that came before it and like led up to it, they created that trope, and it should have like I don't think it shouldn't ever be used, but I think it should not be the entire hinge to it. And it's not just, the doll talks and the child only hears it and then the child's pleading with their parents. It's something's wrong and the parents never believe it. It's the same thing with ghost stories and aliens and everything like that where
everything has established tropes that you can do less. You can tell a similar story without telling the same story.
Right. But no, I really loved how they did like paid homage to a few things, used it in the right places, and they kind of, it's a whole new concept from some of the other movies. You can take the plot points and kind of slot it into maybe other movies that have been created, but they did it completely different. Yeah, like they made it original, which was really good. It didn't feel like I was watching a Walmart generic brand version of another horror movie. Yeah, which I was, like I said, going into it, I was like, this is going to be child's play. This is going to be child's play, but she's going to be a girl. And I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, then, I guess, just to wrap it up, out of 10, where would you put it?
Man. I would say, for what it is, like, this isn't... I'm not big into this style of movie, but I've wanted to see this because everybody had said that it was pretty good. So I put it in like the 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was great for what it was. Yeah.
I was going 8, so I'm right there with you. Like, I think I do seek this out. Like, I love this subgenre. I've seen so many of them. Most of them are crap. Yeah. Like, I saw Imaginary last year, or maybe earlier this year. I don't even remember. I saw Benny Loves You, which was like an indie one that was made. All the old like oh god, I forget what they're called now, but there's the ones with the dolls where he's got like the drill head, and somehow it became Nazis later on. Like all of those series and franchises and movies, I love the Toys to Life subgenre. So for me, like I had to watch this, and then like I said, the initial time I watched, I'm like, this is stupid. We're just shitting on the IT person for being a nerd. That's dumb. Yep. And then I finally gave it a second chance. I'm like, oh no, this is really good. Yeah. And I think it's a solid movie. Like you said, it does enough that it stands on its own. It doesn't feel like a parody of the genre or just a lazy imitation of earlier, better movies. It feels like it's doing its own thing.
It felt more like The Orphan than it did Child's Play.
Yeah.
Like, I fully walked in there expecting it to be cookie cutter or, like, take a lot of the tropes and stuff like that, but it felt more along the lines of the kind of creepy stakes of, like, The Orphan. Yeah. And that setup than like, Chucky or, any of the other horror movies, Small Soldiers, whatever. Yeah. Like, it just felt different enough to where it could stand on its own, which is good. Which is a shame that the second one didn't try and do that.
No, it's
franchises really do ruin movies. It's like you make a movie and then you try and make that same movie over and over again. Which having a formula is a good thing sometimes when it comes to a franchise because people expect things, and if you have a formula, it's not always bad, but it's not always good to be like, oh, we want to throw everything out.
And that's the thing is, like I said earlier, with Child's Play 2, they changed up a little because they cut out the first act because Chucky is Chucky now, so we don't need the build. But it was still a horror movie. Like, you still have the suspense and the tension. You still have to play the cat and mouse game. Chucky is still going after Andy. Yeah. Like, you have to keep some constants or else it's not even a sequel. It's just a new movie. Yeah. And Jason Blum, for whatever reason, decided, nope, we're not going to keep anything. We're going to throw it all out and just make a completely unrelated movie that happens to have this character. And then no one liked it. Because obviously they don't. Horror fans don't want non-horror movies as sequels to their horror movies.
Right. This definitely had horror, like it felt like it had good horror elements.
It's like if you watch heavy metal, you don't expect the sequel to be an episode of My Little Pony. No. Because those are very different things. Yes, they're both animation, but that's where the similarity ends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it is where it's like, okay, you don't want to be cookie cutter with everything, but sometimes it works. Yeah. Sometimes people want to see.
Are there for a reason.
People just want to see more of what they already liked. Yeah. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Throw some new stuff in, but don't change the concept of it.
Don't take out what they liked. Just add more.
Right.
or do it differently.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's this movie. We've rambled enough. You'll probably see him again this month, so stay tuned for the other reviews, and we'll talk about more horror movies.
Yes.
See ya.